When last we left our most intrepid group of adventurers, the party had made a mad dash, a harrowing journey through the crumbling Castle Maerimydra. Certain revelations being made throughout the journey, little conversation happening here and there between various party members, and certain things becoming revealed. Um, Not the least of which is that it is believed now that whatever it was that happened while you were wrapping up the battle in the Colosseum has either begun or uh, in some ways affected a merger between the prime material plane and the ethereal plane. The mists rising throughout the cavern city of Maerimydra herald the joining of two planes, and beyond pissing off Alanere to no end at
Hmm.
the unnaturalness of it all. Uh, it is unknown what long-term effects, if any, that will have, or what the far-flung future may hold for your world, given that this has happened. Um, Another revelation is that it has been revealed to the rest of the party that your quarry in all this, your enemy throughout this entire uh, adventure through Maerimydra and the Underdark, also known as the White Banshee, is not one person but two. One person is a young drow male by the name of Thanas'l Dalharran, who is revealed to be Thoros'l's grandson. And that, of course, leads to the understanding that Irae Dalharran, the other member of the duality that is the White Banshee, is in fact Sophia Nightbranch, Thoros'l's daughter. Thoros'l believes that both of these members of his family that he didn't know existed, or still existed in the case of Irae/Sophia, um, are under the thrall somehow, or are being deceived by a drow goddess by the name of Kiaransili, who appears to be the true antagonist in this arc of our most intrepid group most intrepid group of adventurers journey. As we ended last week's session, the party had uh, completed their journey up through the crumbling towers of Castle Maerimydra, and by the skin of their teeth made it to the stalactite fastness that houses Iraea's lair. Finding it a large, empty, mostly empty cavern, slowly filling with ethereal mists, the party finds nothing inside but two figures, one on the ground in a seated position and one standing over her. And a voice filters out from the darkness and from the mist-choked shadows. I sense, uh, I detect the scent of salt on the air. Ah, at last we meet again, Father. And that is where we'll pick up tonight. It is, for those of you who have infravision, you can tell that the standing figure is in fact Makaria. You recognize her silhouette in the darkness, and even through the mists. For all of you except for Thoros'l, the figure of Irae seated on the ground is unfamiliar, but she is a very pale-skinned uh, elf in white leathers and a swirling gray robe slash cloak. Um, Long dark tresses flow down one side of her head. The other side is shorn to the scalp. And on that side, a fine tracery, now somewhat familiar to your party, A fine tracery of greenish runes travels up her face, behind one eye, or over one eye. She makes no move to stand, or as you approach, assuming that you approach, but seems to be reclining in something of a restful position on the cavern floor. What do you do?
Point of order. It's dark in here.
It is not dark in here. It's not lit, but the mists themselves give off a little bit of a little bit of light. And so while it's difficult to see what's going on because of all the mist, it's like a
Mm-hmm.
very foggy morning.
Gotcha.
It's not dark. It is lit. You can't see the full extent of the height of this cavern simply because it just goes
Mhm.
up too far, but you can see
Yep.
the full extent of the circular cavern.
Gotcha. So Eldrick no longer has his source of light,
That's true.
and is not currently under the effects of dark vision. As I
Also
believe
true.
I came from, I came from the prison or whatever it was, where Thoros'l disappeared from. So this whole thing's super hazy for me. Um, I think Eldrick is going to wait and see what Thoros'l does first.
Reminder, Thoros'l, you still have the unconscious or incapacitated body of thanas'l slung over one shoulder.
Right. And in my other hand, I've got a lit flare sword. So I'm going to stalk forward a little bit. Does it look like Araya is in her little bubble?
No, you don't see the bubble, the green sphere of light or flame at all.
Is she holding the stone?
Um, the stone is resting on the ground next to her, and her hand is on it, but she's not actively holding. She's just resting her hand on it. Have you then returned to kill me? She'll say in the darkness.
Neil doesn't answer immediately, and instead kind of crouch down and lay thanas'l on the ground next to him, and then stand back up. No, I came to do what I came to do this whole time, and that's see you safe. Are you free?
She glances up at Makaria and make an insight check.
Yeah, shit. Everything about this is bad. Let me open my character sheet for some reason not open. You know.
And unless I specify Thoros'l make an insight check or Makaria make an insight check, if I say just make an insight check, that'll be carte blanche. Anybody can do it.
Right. Is this one
14.
just Thoros'l or everyone?
That wasn't everyone. Anybody can
Alright.
make that check.
Is mine at disadvantage?
No,
Okay.
nobody's having particular difficulty seeing, apart from just the fact that it's foggy. But everybody's
Yeah.
vision is about the same at this point.
Eldrick got a 26.
I believe I can see my hand.
Seems to be made of magic of some kind.
Small back.
It's glowing.
Alan, you're bringing his game here.
Alanere and Eldrick.
Eh.
Okay, so Thoros'l and Sprout, you and Makaria, I don't see you that you rolled. That's okay. But those of you who rolled mid to low, Araya doesn't really react, or you don't see any sort of real solid change in her demeanor whenever she looks up at Makaria. There's a clear deference there, as though she's looking up to Makaria to answer that question for her, perhaps. For Alanere and Eldrick, you see something entirely different. when Eldrick asks that, "Are you free?" there is a flash of anger that is readable on her face and in her eyes as she looks up at Makaria. And then as she settles in on Makaria, that anger changes to resignation. She says, "After a fashion, I suppose, or at the very least, I have widened my prison. But a prisoner I remain. Free, perhaps, to some degree, but who knows for how long. I shot my shot." And the anger in her features comes back, just barely perceptible to those of you who have a higher insight check. For what that's worth. Is my son alive?
He is.
She visibly relaxes to some degree, her eyes darting over to the unconscious form of thanas'l laying on the ground. She lets out a breath that she apparently had been holding.
You should know that his state wasn't done by me, although we were fighting, as expected. But what was granted him by Thoros'l was taken, and that cost him dearly. I hope the same hasn't happened to you.
She winces at that and gives a small nod. Thoros'l, he kind of chuckles a bit. Thoros'l took nothing from me. In fact, it's quite the other way around. It was your friend here that took everything from me. She looks up at Makaria again and begins to stagger to her feet.
Oh,
How tall are you, Makaria?
Oh, Makaria is 5'10".
Oh, yeah, so much taller than Irae. Irae's only 5'4". She painfully gets to her feet and tries to stand tall in front of Makaria, who towers over her by a good 6 inches. But now even you, Thoros'l, and perhaps even Sprout, you can see that there is some definite friction between Irae and Makaria. She picks up the stone with her, brings the stone up with her whenever she stands up. She does, as she is standing, she lets go of it. Like, she gets to the ground, gets off of the ground, her hand leaves the stone for just a moment, and then she, like, before she stands to her full height, she picks it up and brings it up with her.
So she did let it go for a moment.
She did.
Okay.
Did it just kind of float in the air or fall? Or was it on the ground
It
already?
was on the ground already. She was just kind of resting a hand on it on the ground, and it stayed on the ground whenever she left it there, and then she picked it up. She holds it in her left hand. Her right hand is by her side, and her hand is clenching and unclenching.
Makaria.
What's going on, Makaria?
Makaria turns and faces Irae. And a kind of sneering grin catches her face. I'm impressed. I thought at least you'd be stuck there.
Perception checks all around.
Oh boy.
You got that evil card? You got the fucking evil card?
It's over there on the desk somewhere.
Ooh, natural one.
Oh my God, Alanere, you and I are the perception people.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to send a private message to Sprout because he's the only one that knows this. So bear with me just 1 second.
My word.
Draugg, I'm going to put it in your private in Discord. Is that good? Good for you?
I'm reading it now.
Okie dokie.
Or I will.
Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. Oh.
And then take a step backwards.
I'll notice that. You taking a step backwards. From Uriah. My attention is fully on Makaria as she speaks.
Eldrick is pretty transfixed on the stone in the other woman's hand as
Oh
he
boy.
slowly moves away from the group.
You're still in fireball range.
Uriah,
I mean, the whole woman's fireball range, but
Uriah turns toward Thoros'l and thanas'l, pointedly turning away from Makaria. Her features still pretty stiff. She steps over just a few feet in front of her father, said, "You've brought friends. Some I've met." She glances at Eldrick as he's trying to skirt around the side of the room. Others are new faces.
Aye, we came to put an end to this. We can't bring the ethereal here. You know that. It has to stop where it is. No more.
She glances over at Makaria again.
That probably won't be a problem, at least for a long time.
Makaria, what's going on here? There's edge to his voice.
Let's just say a pool of energy was used and something was prevented and another thing was learned. From this point to a couple, maybe miles, we're in a new experiment, but we can cross over and be back into ourselves.
Speak plainly, Makaria. What have you done?
I stopped it.
It's what I did, Father, actually, and what she, well, let's say, interfered in, or I suppose that is as succinct as I can make it for you. My plan, Kieran Sally's great revenants. She puts her hands up and makes a big show, and there's clear sarcasm in her voice and in her body language.
Okay, so she's not really reverent at all, but
Not in the least, not
okay,
at all.
Good. Okay.
Says, came to pass as was promised. And when my cards were on the table, well, let's just say things didn't go quite as the Revenancer intended for the ritual. Of course, that seems to be going around a bit, because things didn't go exactly as I had planned either, did they, Makaria?
Nor as I planned. So, to be fair,
disappointment all around then.
Yes, and I'm sure if I actually knew what the ritual was supposed to have done beforehand, I could have done better. I could have.
Iriah seems to be a bit miffed. She kind of tilts her head a little bit in annoyance, kind of grits her teeth a little bit. It's not my fault that some are not as quick study as others. But that is neither here nor there. What has happened has happened. It is as you say, Father. The ethereal and the material are beginning to merge. Here, at least. This was my plan. This was my great betrayal of the Revenancer. And my freedom. Unfortunately, it appears that with your friend playing spoiler to my plans, the both of us are now, I suppose, a dyad in our imprisonment and in our control of this, well, I suppose I should dare say ghost town, if to not put too fine a point on it. Behold, you are now standing in our shared realm and our shared prison.
The circle or the city? Eldrick will inquire.
I haven't been able to see exactly how far it stretches. It certainly didn't spread as far as I would have intended, thanks to Makaria. But I dare say at least the city. Do you understand what this is? And she holds up the stone in her hand, what it does. And
Not that one.
what did you say?
Not that one.
She kind of tilts her head. What do you mean by that?
I know what others do, but I don't know what that one specifically does.
She looks at you for a long moment, not saying anything, but just trying to digest what you just said, as though it is unfamiliar to her. So she's trying to decide if you're telling the truth or trying to decide if what you said, what you meant by that. After a moment, she says, "Well, I suppose I'm not going anywhere." Story time, everyone. Do you have any other pressing business, or shall I continue?
Our business is to save you from this prison. The information you give us in this story time, it can only assist us in that.
Well, I am afraid you've wasted a good deal of time and a great many lives. Then, as there's nothing that you can do. My one gambit, and she again doesn't glance at Makaria this time, but you can see that she wants to. My one gambit failed.
Makaria. They're just staring daggers at you, and I just... Did you... You took it on yourself, didn't you? Part of the curse.
Well, that was my doing. She said, Irae says, as she kneels down over thanas'l, sets the stone well clear of his body, and very careful not to touch him with it. That much is plain. But still keeps a hand on it, as she is with her other hand checking to make sure that he's breathing, that he has a pulse, so on and so forth.
So Makaria, you just put an end to the ritual then?
I did a little bit more than that. I found a way to perhaps harness some of what was being collected so that it did not go farther than where it did. It's been contained for further use that she nor the body that she has, nor the being that she pledged herself to can access at the time.
She stole it from me. It's her her characteristically long-winded approach to language is trying to get across.
Makaria will kind of flick her finger, and a crown will appear where her, like a dark, purplish energy just around her head for a split moment, being contained before it disappears.
Describe that crown for us, Makaria.
All right. It is a crown made of pure energy where probably everyone has seen her her abjuration ward when she has taken damage, kind of blocked some of it. I think she even sent it to Eldrick at one point to take a little bit of the blow.
Mm-hmm.
It looks very similar to that. However, instead of being a kind of radiant gold, it's kind of inverted, and there's more of a dark negative aspect with lines of purple and grays, and it seems to be a cage of force containing just a swirling mass of energy that just kind of rotates above her head for a moment and then disappears.
You can't help but notice, Thoros'l and anybody else who is looking at Makaria at that point in time, that there is something that is very different about Makaria. It may not have or it may have escaped your attention before, but once she brings the crown into being for an instant, you can tell. Prior to her abduction at the Colosseum, she had shining silver eyes. Two things are different. She also has a glowing green string of runes down her face in the exact same position that it appears on Eldrick and Irae. But her eyes are now glossy black.
The white banshee, when we met the form before, have glossy black eyes?
You never saw the eyes
Okay.
because the white banshee always wore a mask. You can never see eyes behind it.
Then, is it fair to say that we're safe for now? No Thoros'l popping out of the shadows.
Well, there's
No more world-ending bluish smoke.
There's no guarantees on either point. The ritual that I attempted to cast was successful in that I drew upon the power that I had stored and shunted it to Thoros'l through the construct that was here when you were last here, Father. You'll notice, Thoros'l, maybe just because it's because the emotional the emotional charge of the moment, or the fact that you're so focused on Irae. When you were here last, when thanas'l brought you here the first time, almost all of the bottom half of this cavern was choked with this large structure, this cancerous tooth-looking tower. And there was a huge black orb that was floating in the air about 30 feet above the ground. Both of those things are gone. They are not here anymore. Even through the mists, through the fog, you can tell this cavern is entirely empty. But as soon as I had held up my end of my bargain with the Revenancer, she kind of glances down at her son. Well, that's where Makaria comes in. Makaria and I have an interesting mutual acquaintance who taught us both a number of things. Do you know who it is? And she kind of cocks her head up at Thoros'l and then slowly turns toward Eldrick. Do you know who it is that you're traveling with? She holds up a hand and says, I digress. The ritual cast was intended to draw on an immense source of power that I collected for 10 years in this place. Meant to secure my freedom from this, she holds up the stone, and this, she gestures to her face. I had promised it to Thoros'l to fuel her great revenants, and that promise was fulfilled. But that's not the end of it, of course. It never is. My intention, what I attempted to explain to your friend, was that her fated arrival here heralded the second portion of my plan. Something, unfortunately, my son was unaware of necessity. Stealing that power back and using it to break open the prison. Or to widen it further. Semantic. Makaria stopped that portion. So as to your question about Thoros'l, I assure you, she is quite upset. And I imagine it is only a matter of time before she attempts to claim revenge on the both of us. She glances back at Makaria. And then, unfortunately, there is so very little that either of us can do to stop her. As I, unfortunately, am quite spent. The ritual took everything. Everything that I had.
Literally everything you had, except for what's in your hand.
And even she can't take this from me. Not that it'll do me any good. Let's talk about this in the time that we have left. For she is coming, and there's nothing that anyone can do to stop that. Not you, Father. Not your friends. Not Makaria. Not even your father, Makaria, can stop what's happening. What will happen. Were he so inclined.
I think we have more options than you think.
Oh? And
what does that stone do?
a number of things, really. You're not a wizard. You're not a student of the arcane. You walk a different path. You're a cleric, yes?
I'm a paladin and a knight of the Bloodstone Kingdoms.
Just kind of gives you a look again, as though she doesn't quite understand. I knew a paladin once. She glances down at her son. So you're not prone to translocation. You don't have that ability.
I will say no.
And you're having some difficulty since our last meeting in contacting your patron.
I assume that has to do with the markings that you put on my face.
She nods once. That, in a nutshell, for the uninitiated, is what this does. She holds up the stone. It's curse. For some, for the uninitiated, for those who attempt to claim its power on their own, Its effects are quite... And she kind of reaches up absently to touch the string of runes on her own face. Unpredictable. This, she said, again gesturing to the stone, is the reason that I've spent the last 13 years of my life marooned on the ethereal plane. I found this. I tried to explain this to my father, but I found this in my travels, and when I attempted to claim it, it attacked. A rather clever and insidious curse, but it banished me to the ethereal plane. Fortunately for me, I was able to discern that it actually exists somehow. It exists everywhere. And whenever I was able to signal to my companions that I was still there, simply just a different there, my son was able to find me and recover me to some degree. I found, in addition, that this stone allows for rather seamless transition between the planes of existence. Feel free to stop me if I get too far over your heads. I never know. It's not often that I get to speak with people. I never know how much to tell you.
How are you trapped? If the stone can take you anywhere, is what it sounds like. How are you trapped?
You misunderstand. The stone opens doors. The stone can open a door to anywhere. But thanks to this, she points to the runes on her face and the runes on your face, we can't step through. We're trapped. Me on the material plane, or on the ethereal plane, and you on the material. Your soul, as mine has been, is completely severed from everywhere else.
Why would you do that to me in Makaria?
She kind of gives an almost apologetic glance. You were a problem. I assumed, given my expectation that you were of a clerical nature, that your abilities would be an issue for me, and that you may represent a threat to my plan. I could kill you, or I could simply remove the threat. Makaria's involvement in all this is somewhat more complicated. Complex, we'll say. I needed Makaria, as she well understands, as she and I are cut from the same cloth, if you will.
What cloth is that?
Well, I mentioned that we had a mutual acquaintance. I'll not spoil the surprise so that Makaria can tell you herself. But this acquaintance of ours imparted to us the necessary knowledge to perform the ritual that Makaria spoke of, and the transference ritual that allowed for all of this. She gestures to the cavern at large. What he didn't tell us is that it required the both of us. I knew very little of Makaria, as I'm sure she knew very little of me. He was always that way. Very secretive, very deliberate in the truths he doled out. But I couldn't perform the ritual twice in succession. It simply was not possible. So I needed Makaria. I stole the power for Kiranzali, and she helped me steal it back. What she did with
who is she talking about, Makaria? Who's your mutual acquaintance? Who's your father?
Oh, well, my father is not our mutual acquaintance because
Oh,
I don't know who my father is.
Oh,
to be
come,
honest.
come now, Makaria. Don't. You're among friends.
Well, some of us, unfortunately, were ripped from pleasant conversation with a relatively nice gentleman who was going to talk to us about our pedigree, and I never got there, and then was thrown into trying to remember a ritual from a rather absentee mentor on the fly when you said things were perhaps a little bit too perilous. And forgive me if I might have.
who, Makaria? Thoros'l will interject. Who?
I don't know what's so special about Nithril. He is just, as far as I know, a random, nice old guy who lived in the woods. But a
Everybody,
dick.
everybody, make me either an Arcana or a History check.
Oh my. Let's do
Everybody but Makaria. Ooh.
8. So
Arcana or history.
Yep. Whatever you choose.
Ooh,
Ooh. Natural 20.
nice
Nice.
guy.
It's really hit or miss for me, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
Actually, I think it's hit and miss.
Feast and famine.
Yeah. There's no in between.
Okay. So Thoros'l and Alanere. Eldrick didn't pay attention in history class, and he knows very little about
I am
the
here to
Arcana.
lead, not to read.
But whenever she says, what was the name that you used, Makaria?
Nethril.
Nethril. That keys in something that you've heard once before, Thoros'l. Somebody referring to some ancient, long dead civilization of uh, wizards. Just something about some long dead, centuries gone civilization of wizards that effectively redefined how magic works in their era. They
And that
effectively set all the rules for magic.
referring to the Netherese.
Alanere, you recognize that name very, very clearly. Nethril is the name of that empire. The Netherese, arcanists from thousands of years ago, or at least a couple thousands of years ago, and all of the connotations that come along with that. A scary group of individuals that the entire world is better off that they are gone. Long dead.
That's not a person's name.
Not all of them.
Makaria, that doesn't sound right. I don't think anyone from that empire is still alive.
I don't. He lived in the woods, not necessarily an empire.
I'll look at Uriah.
She kind of raises up a hand, and shrugs, kind of innocently. He was an ally of Duneth's. He took an interest in my training. Once Duneth met his, we'll say, untimely fate, or quite timely fate, he became my ally instead. I learned a lot from him. I know a little more than that. Except that Makaria seems to know a good deal more about him.
Why would he teach you such a ritual?
Well, you have to understand that wizards, well, as I've come to understand myself, wizards very much like to play games, and Nethril was one that liked to keep his secrets. He very much liked to play games, and everything that I learned had to be earned either through cheating, which I guess isn't cheating if you're supposed to cheat. I've always had a logical kind of conundrum with that. But you had to survive, and that was what he did. I never knew what the ritual was going to do. He never finished really teaching me that part.
All of a sudden, I'm much less worried about Kianzali.
Yeah, I feel like we've got a quad cross coming up here.
If he taught you this ritual, it was probably for something much more devious.
Alanere, point of order. Just a recollection for you. You sought out Makaria
Yes.
specifically for this.
Oh, isn't that for like a transference?
That's correct.
Yep.
That's what Irae called it, the ritual transference.
Yo.
Okay.
So this is all riveting, Eldrick will say, having no effing clue who any of the Nethas are. If you have the stone and you were able to apply the mark, why are you not able to remove them?
Oh, I can.
Why are you not able to remove yours?
Well, that's the rub. It wouldn't be a curse if I had power over it, now would it? I can place the marks. I can remove the marks. The Drow of Maerimydra were just as averse to having them in place as you are. Hence their untimely fall.
Then why didn't you have someone take the stone from you, remove your mark, and simply teleport you to wherever you wanted to be?
To be fair, I did try to take the stone. I do want to be honest with you, Eldrick. I don't think I've lied too often.
I think you should remove Eldrick's mark and give him the stone. He has power over them. Maybe he can remove your mark.
What? What? How do you know this? You just keep saying them. Are there more than one of these?
Oh yeah.
Now, now who needs to go back and learn some of her history?
Ooh, burn.
Shoot Makaria a glance. Not helpful.
This is unimportant. I would be happy to take the stone from you, remove the mark from you, take on whatever curse it is that you seem to be under, and send you wherever it is you wish to be.
You can trust Eldrick.
Who's removing it from me?
I mean, I would remove it from you as well.
Okay, just making sure. I just didn't hear that in anyone's
Gotta be
words.
specific with Makaria.
Low priority here.
Araya's brow kind of furrows. She closes her eyes, puts puts one hand up to her head, brings the stone in close with her other hand. She says, "So you mean to tell me that all of this was unnecessary? All I needed was to find." She turns and just laughing at this point in time, but pained laughing. It's just like she is completely overwhelmed by the moment here. Everything that I have done everything that I've planned, everything that I've suffered for the last decade is you just you waltz in here and you make it better. Is that what I'm supposed to believe?
I cannot make anything better other than the things that I have promised Thoros'l I will make better, which is to free you. None of your efforts were in vain. There's no way you could have known that there was someone out there that could help you.
Show me. Show me yours. Show me
Oh,
your
God.
mastery over the stones. You say that there are others. That means you have one. Yes.
I'll reach into my armor, grab mine, pull it out.
She visibly is shaken. Almost takes a full step backwards as you pull out another one, and her face is just pure disbelief at this point in time. She is paler than normal, which is pretty pale. Her eyes are wide. Her lip trembles.
Eldrick's gonna take a step towards her. He's not gonna cross the distance, so I'm not gonna move him on the map. But he takes a step towards her. You found that when others touched it, it killed them, didn't you?
No. Is that your curse?
That's what this one does.
This one, it's as I told you. Whenever I touched it, whenever I found it, I touched it the first time. It branded me and locked me here, locked me within the. Her voice is very small at this point in time. The imperious nature, the sarcasm, all of it is gone. She's trying to wrap her head around this, and she's feeling very, very small at the moment. If I were to just give the stone, what makes you so special? Why are you not dead? You say that your stone kills as its curse. Why are you not dead? Or are you? Are you dead?
Not as far as I am aware. The armor that I'm currently wearing might imply differently, however.
She tenses as you draw attention to the fact that you're wearing that armor. Her face gets stony again.
Actually,
Does that hit
when
the
that
sun's armor?
That she takes a deep breath and lets it out. That's another reason why. And she kind of composes herself a little bit. She says, I would apologize for what I did to you. Man whose name I don't know.
I told her.
She says, how did he die?
Valiantly in combat, defending what he thought was right.
And you struck the final blow?
Out of character, I don't remember who did.
It was Thoros'l.
Yeah.
Eldrick's not going to answer that question, but he is going to reach up and start unlatching the breastplate.
You can trust him, Sophia. You can trust him.
She kind of flinches at her father's voice.
You laugh that we would just show up with the answer, but that's what fathers do. You can trust him. We're not going anywhere until you're free.
That's what fathers do. Tell that to thanas'l. His father wore that armor. She takes a full step, like she kind of turns, very clearly overcome and with the emotion of the moment, turns, takes a step away. Says, but that aside, all of this aside, I need some assurances. I need you come here after more than a century, Father, and you bring this human who you say I can trust, who carries another stone like this one, and yet it sounds good. I want to believe that this can just all be over, but
Well, like you said, you've played all your cards. This is the next gambit. He'll sheathe his sword and take a step forward towards her. I couldn't kill my grandson. I couldn't kill your son. And if it's proof you need or some sort of assurance, then touch the stone to me. Bind me here too. Eldrick can get both of us out. And Makaria too, I guess.
she turns her full attention back to you and takes another step forward.
Bind me here with you. For the last century, like you say, all I've been doing is wandering around this earth, killing, angry at everything that moved, looking for the people that hurt you. Duneth, and he'll kind of look to the sword. He's been dealt with. Solemn, he'll get his. But if you need assurances to let Eldrick try, then I'll stay here. If he fails, I'll be here.
She takes a deep breath, looks up into her father's eyes, raises the stone in her left hand, and lets it fall to her side. It clatters against the ground. Then perhaps what I said before about our family. I just don't know what happens now.
Can you
Eldrick's
remove? Oh, can you remove the mark from Eldrick?
No, that she doesn't need to do that. Eldrick's gonna drop the breastplate next to thanas'l, and then walk over and, assuming he's not stopped, pick up the stone.
She makes no move to stop you. She doesn't even acknowledge your presence. Her eyes are entirely locked on Thoros'l.
All right, I pick it up and hopefully don't explode.
Because you still have the mark on your face. God, I hope you are not gonna die.
I mean, she just told us if I picked up the stone, it would put a mark on my face. So I mean,
I
that's
guess.
what it does apparently.
But it would also banish you. And
But I'm already marked. What's it gonna
Yeah.
do to me?
Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen?
If I pick up the stone, what happens to me?
It bursts into the familiar green flame. It feels warm in your hand, and a voice, now very familiar, in your head doesn't so much say a word, but makes its presence known. You are aware, and I will provide you with a write-up on this. I don't have it for today, but you are aware immediately upon taking possession of the stone, its abilities. Effectively, you can utilize a power known as the Soul Anchor. Soul as S-O-U-L, where you can, by touching the stone to a creature, you can anchor, if that creature has a soul, you can anchor it to one plane of existence of your choice. You can also remove that anchor. You are also aware that as an action, effectively, you can utilize the stone to create a portal that is a 20-foot sphere. Open a portal from the plane of existence you are currently on to any other plane or any location that you have seen on your plane. You have to know where it is that you're attempting to go, but you can open a portal that will stay open for as long as you maintain concentration to any plane of existence or any place on a plane of existence that you have been or are familiar with.
Holy shit.
You know immediately upon lifting the stone that any soul anchor that has been placed on another creature you can control. You are not given the details similar to the previous two that you have held. You are not given the details of the specifics of the curse that exists on each of the pieces of the stone.
Yeah.
But you do know that your soul anchor, Makaria's soul anchor, and Irae's soul anchor can be lifted. All you have to do is touch them, and it takes an action. You are also aware that she spoke the truth. The soul anchors, you are immediately aware of all of the soul anchors that are currently in effect. There are currently 3. Yes, currently 3 soul anchors in effect. Yours, you are linked to the prime material plane that you are currently on. Irae's, she is linked to the ethereal plane.
Which is also currently here, yeah.
Which is also the plane that you are currently on. And Makaria, who is also linked to the ethereal plane.
All right. Well, then I will. The 2 stones are pretty distinct, yeah.
They are not the same shape. It is possible. They don't appear to like have any real commonalities other than that they are the same. They appear to be made from the same black glossy type stone.
Gotcha.
They both have an irregular shape, and they both but that's the only similarities that they have.
All right. Well, I'm going to take mine that I've had for forever and put it back in my clothing so that I'm not actually holding it to my skin.
Okay.
And then I'm going to walk over and remove Araya's marking.
Okay. So,
and assuming nothing bad happens, then I'm going to head over and do the same to Makaria.
Okay. So you walk over, you lift the stone, you immediately understand its nature as you hold it in your hand, and you step in and gently, as she is standing there before her father, looking up into Thoros'l's eyes, you touch the stone against Irae, and the mark on her face vanishes. And
then while he processes that, I'm going to go remove Makaria's.
she just collapses. She collapses into her father's arms and is just a mess. She's overcome with emotion.
This is a completely. I mean, it's probably been 100 years since he's embraced anybody. So, for a moment, Thoros'l is completely taken aback by this, but figures it out to hold her. Figures it out.
It's been a little bit since he's hugged somebody.
It's been a while.
Once Eldrick has removed Makaria's mark, he's going to look to Makaria specifically and say, can we undo what has happened around here? And then he's going to touch himself and try to remove his mark.
As soon as Makaria loses her mark, she's fucking teleporting out of here. She now has like god level magic power. You know that, right? She's not sticking around. She's gone.
Okay, so we'll slow things down just a little bit.
Okay.
You touch the stone to Irae. She collapses into Thoros'l's arms. Thoros'l awkwardly tries to comfort her for a moment, and then you, realizing that it is a private moment between a father and a daughter, you look over and see that Makaria is still there with a glowing mark on her face. So you step across the cavern to do that. You touch the stone to Makaria. Makaria's mark vanishes. Well, do you touch the stone to Makaria with the intention of removing her soul anchor? Is that I want to be very clear with what's happening here.
My intention is to remove the mark from her. Yeah, the soul anchor.
Okay, so you touch the stone, Makaria. Do you allow this to happen?
You made a deal, didn't you?
Yes, I allow it to happen.
Okay, then Eldrick touches you with the stone, and you feel it's a shift. It's just a very, very, very subtle shift in your soul, for lack of a better word, or a better way to describe it. You don't feel like your face. You don't feel any sensation of of the mark disappearing on your face, but you do feel that there has been a shift. You feel a tingle in your extremities as the mark on your face disappears. Thoros'l, you hear a very familiar voice, your voice, in your own mind. And to you it says, in your voice, your characteristic dour, angry voice, if you can assure me that my daughter is safe, free, and once again master of her own fate, I will seek vengeance in your name. Free her, and I'm yours. And you black out. For the rest of you, as Eldrick looks up and sees the mark disappear from Makaria's reddish skin, a noticeable wind starts to shift in the cavern, and you hear the rising sound of a wail. It's just not wail as in like an animal, but a scream, like a mournful, rage-filled cry begins to, seemingly carried on the wind, begins to fill the chamber. I need everyone except for Thoros'l to make me a what? What is it you have to make?
Hopefully not a roll.
A Constitution saving throw.
Oh, fuck.
Goodbye, everybody. It was nice knowing you. 17 years was enough.
Boom.
22 for Makaria. Remember, get used to it for everybody.
22, yeah.
17
17
for Alanere.
For Alanere.
Eldrick gets a 10.
Okay,
That's unfortunate.
that
You,
is not
no,
good.
you didn't remove your mark yet, so you don't have your pally aura, do you?
Nope.
Ooh, yeah, that's a problem.
Because Eldrick helps his friends first.
Right.
Oh.
Mistake.
Think. Whenever you
Well.
turn evil, you'll be able to make a portal, shove the other stone through it, and touch people you hate.
Portal touch.
Oh,
Portal
so
touch.
that's the bad touch. The bad touch. I can't find my. Where
He
do
just
I?
reaches his hand into
live?
the throne room of the Bloodstone Kingdom, touches the king. The other stone.
What is happening here? Okay, sorry guys, I'm having some difficulty. Oh, there we go. Okay. Shit. Took me just a second. So as you hear this wailing cry rise in the chamber, you clutch your ears, and Eldrick and Sprout, just the sheer rage, the sheer power of the voice as it rises to just ear split. That's the wrong thing. Sorry, rises to ear splitting volume in the breadth of a few heartbeats. You take 31 points of psychic damage.
Whoa.
For those of you, everybody else takes half that, so 15 for everybody who's saved, and that includes Irae. So I need to mark that down.
Well, about that.
Oh, yeah, about that.
Yeah, that puts me at under 0.
All right, so you are at 0. You are effectively unconscious. Eldrick kind of smiles at Makaria, and then just this wave of psychic energy hits as this wail rises up on the wind in the cavern, and he goes nerveless, and the stone clatters to the ground in front of him as he falls to the stone. Thoros'l, Sprout, you feel the same thing. Just this, as the wind begins to rise and begins to blow the mist about, this wail rises in the cavern with it. You clutch your head and you feel that this just the sheer anguish in the cry, the agony and the rage in the cry is threatening to tear you apart. I need to roll for Irae, actually. Ooh,
Did I take the damage? Did Thoros'l take the damage?
Thoros'l does not take the damage. Thoros'l takes no
Oh.
damage.
Balls.
You couldn't hear it.
No, I guess that's true.
So make sure everybody's keeping track of the damage that they're taking and how many hit points that they still have. So as the cry reaches its high point and Eldrick drops to the ground unconscious, the mist begins to coalesce into a vaguely humanoid form in the center of the chamber.
Man, you guys are so fucked.
Can I cast a spell?
We are going to roll for initiative.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, Saku.
And a vaguely humanoid, very clearly female and dark form rises up out of the mist and begins shouting in that same voice that you heard. Said, "Every slight answered 1,000-fold." Just at the top of her lungs, screaming in rage. And that is where we're going to roll for initiative.
Guess
And
we can't all get along.
please give me initiative rolls, guys. I gotta find the initiative tracker.
Do you want Thoros'l to roll?
Yes, please. I will roll for Irae as well.
Is Eldrick rolling, or we can save that in case I get up?
Go ahead and roll just in case. Something comes up. I'll go ahead and add everyone to the tracker. So bear with me just a second.
You wanted to simply
Makaria got a
control to the turn tracker,
16.
but no valid token was selected.
You need to click on
Click on
your token before you roll.
I guess that's why
I
I
had-
didn't add
I
mine
had a
to
good
it.
roll too.
Well, you can go ahead and use that roll. It's not a big deal. Just get yourself added to the tracker, and then I will add it for you. So, getting used to doing this again.
I think I can do it, actually. Maybe.
Alanere, did I just undo yours?
No, because I wouldn't clicked on mine, so it didn't add it to
Got it,
the
okay.
track.
Everybody on except, okay, Eldrick's not on, so I'm adding Eldrick, and Makaria, I'm adding you. All right, so we'll go through them for those that don't. Okay, cool. You guys are able to put your own on, so you can click on your number and add to the.
I can't change that number, though.
Okay, on the turn order tracker, you can't change it.
Now I can.
Okay. I need to roll for Irae.
1, 6, enter. There we go.
I see Sprout on there twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep, he's on there twice. Okay, I'll remove the other one.
Doobly Sprout.
It's because I'm so big, people think I'm 2 people.
Double Sprout.
He's a big man. Okay, and then I need to add that.
That.
That. All right, so let me. How do I? Oh man, it's been too long. I've just got to drag everybody in, don't I? It won't auto roll for me or reset for me. Okay, there we go. Okay, top of the order then is the shrieking spirit that appeared in the center of the chamber, shouts out her warning and turns to face. Let's see, Makaria, even or odd?
Please.
Even. She turns to face Makaria. She says, "You will be first. First in a long line. First in a long line of my revenge." And then she dissipates into the mist. That will do that.
That's no good.
You hear a snarling, rending sound as the wind continues to pick up in the chamber and swirling the mist around. And near each of you, very near to some of you, you see these almost like writhing cracks begin to appear in midair. Almost in an instant, the cracks appear, and as they writhe in midair, they begin to stretch and open, and within, just pure blackness starts to pour out of these gigantic holes that appear to be ripped in the very fabric of the plane, I guess. And 6 rifts appear in midair. From those rifts, you begin to notice that the blackness that starts pouring out of them begins to take form. I'm going to roll an even or odd for each of the portals. I'm going to call even. So even for portal number 1, which is this one. For portal number 2, we're just going to go around clockwise. So the one near Thoros'l is an odd, even, odd. Okay, so 1, 4, and 5 got evens. The black mist that is pouring out of the rifts in the air begin to coalesce into vaguely humanoid form as creatures of pure blackness begin to issue forth. And I need to add them to the initiative tracker.
Oh, man.
They are vaguely humanoid. They appear to be made of sort of a blackish mist, and they are howling in rage or pain. You don't know, but it is they're red, glowing, vague approximations of eyes. They lock on to Makaria and surge forth. Well, they'll surge forth on their turn, which will be on a, if I roll better than a 20, it's right now. Okay, that's a 10. And it's a +2. Okay, so that's a 12. Alright, so they will act at the same time as Irae. And that will end the top of the order, number 20. We'll start with Sprout at 17. What do you got, Sprout?
Not enough. Oh, geez.
So you see, so just so you can see what's going on in front of you, you've got. Let me do one more thing here. I just realized I need to put Eldrick's ass in the dirt.
It's very dirt.
He's very dirt.
Much ass.
He is effectively dying. So we're going to put him as unconscious and call it good for the now.
Do I need a spell of some sort to be able to add health to him or try and revive him?
Do you have any other means of healing through your character?
Not that I am aware of.
Then no. You can attempt to stabilize him so that he doesn't fall, he doesn't get any worse. He's effectively dying right now, which means that every round on his turn, he rolls a death saving throw. If he gets 3 death saving throws successful, he stabilizes and doesn't get any worse. If he gets 3 death saving throws that fail, he dies.
Okay.
Aren't you like a portal dude?
I am a portal dude.
There's like 6 portals here. Can you unportal them or something?
Possibly?
Glancing at them, make me an Arcana check, just reflexively. Sprout, make me an Arcana check. You are a portal dude, and with a 15, you recognize that these are very unstable portals. You can tell that they are hastily constructed, and they're not full-fledged portals yet. It is possible that if you were able to disrupt them in some way, whether through magical means or physical means, it is possible that you could, in fact, close them, destroy them. But you don't know exactly what it would take to do that. With a 15, I'll give you that you can see that they're not fully formed yet. It would be it could be possible to disrupt them before they mature. But you don't know exactly how to do that. You imagine some kind of trauma would probably do it.
I'm thinking if I were to strike at them with Riftrender, that might be a good attempt, and then I want to try and figure out more with it. I want to try and identify how to shut them down.
Okay. So
what do I need to do for that?
Well, on your turn, so I don't know off the top of my head. I'm going to have to look. So generally speaking, this is something that if it's something that your character can do, it's going to be on your sheet somewhere, or within the documentation that I sent you for your planeswalker stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking over Riftraver's specific abilities.
Yeah, you don't have anything specifically. You don't you can identify portals, and basically figure out where they're going to or where they come from. You can do the other thing that you can do with portals, but you don't have anything in your kit that is specifically meant to close portals. But as you say, you're carrying a sword named Riftrender.
Yes, Riftrender.
Then I am going to move. Oh, move to the closest portal to me, which I believe is this one. And I'm going to try and, I guess, attack the portal directly with Riftrender.
Okay. Roll an attack.
Did I do that right, or is that damage?
Nope, that's the top number is your to hit, and the bottom number is damage. So you
Okay.
effectively rolled a 27 to hit, which will hit,
Mhm.
and you've done 15 points of damage to the portal. Is that including? It does. It includes the force damage. That it comes as part of your sword kit.
Yes.
So whenever you slash Riftrender through the portal before you, it flickers. It is very clearly affected by Riftrender. You have not done enough. It swirls around, and it appears to be trying to widen its grip on this plane, but it has not yet been disrupted. You've harmed it, but you haven't destroyed it.
Okay. I don't think I'm able to make another attack with Riftrender because I think I can only do one attack, but I'm not positive about that.
That is
Surely you got 2.
that
right?
is false. You do have 2 attacks, I believe. I'm just confirming using your character sheet. You do have extra attack as part of your character sheet, so you do get 1 additional attack. Remember that as part of, I think it's called Distant Strike, or Ethereal. No, Distant Strike. You can, as long as you are shifting
Within
between
10
different foes within 10 feet, you
Yeah.
can make a third attack on a different foe.
Problem is that the rifts are 15 feet apart if I'm measuring correctly.
That is an unfortunate truth. Yes.
Then I will make a second attack at the same portal.
All right. Go ahead and roll it. And that's a 30 to hit, so that will also hit, and you'll do 10 points of damage. The portal collapses. Just you
Nice.
slash through it twice, and the portal cannot maintain its integrity and vanishes with a did we just lose? No, we didn't. There we go. We're okay. All right.
All right.
That will end Sprout's
Yes.
turn.
Correct.
We will go on to Makaria. Thoros'l, you are on deck.
I am.
All right. Makaria is going to take a step backwards, pull out her wand, tap herself on the head, and a magical sphere will encase her.
Okay.
I will choose to fail my saving throw and encase myself in a resilient sphere.
A sphere of force. Understood.
No object, energy, or spell effect can pass through it.
That is correct. Okay. So you are encased in resilient sphere. That is your move. That is your action. Are you doing anything additional?
Well, that depends. Could I feed myself a potion?
So we're utilizing the same rules that Critical Role uses. That if you have a potion that is handy, and you're feeding it to yourself, it is considered a bonus action. If you're attempting to feed it to somebody else, it is a full action. So
Then I will use.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Then I'm just going to use my bonus action to take my one and only potion healing, greater healing potion, and that's it.
All right. So that's a 4d4, if I recall correctly.
I believe so.
There you go.
44 plus
Alright.
4, right?
4d4 plus 4. Yeah. All right. So that will end Makaria's turn. Thoros'l.
Not too bad.
As you feel as you hear that voice, your own voice, stabbing into your mind, you feel that now familiar cold sensation rush up from your left hand, and suddenly you are staring out from your own eyes as a passenger in your body. You watch as your body roughly throws your daughter to the floor and draws both of your swords. Please make me a full round of attacks on your daughter.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. 1.
Go ahead and roll that first one at disadvantage.
Okay. Let's see. I'll roll another 20. That
Yep.
fire doesn't exist either. I didn't mean to
Right.
take.
You don't have.
So it's 8 plus 11, 19.
That's
For
still
the
a hit.
first hit.
That is still
Okay.
a hit with the, and then that's with the flare sword. I got it.
Yeah. 19 to hit. Do you want me to do normal for the next attack?
Yes, the
Okay.
displacement effect that was on Irae is disrupted by her taking damage.
Okay. Then another 11 damage, and then Wolf Swift Sword, 7 damage.
Okay, so all grand total, we're looking at 15 and 11 is 26, 33.
33.
Hot diggity damn. Okay. So you slash 3 times at the prone form of Irae Dalharran slash Sophia Nightbranch, and you hear Kia Ronsley's voice issue forth from your own lips. Every slight answered 1,000-fold. And
I'm fighting back as much as I can.
you have that right. Unfortunately,
Struggling
for
with
this
my
turn,
willpower.
yeah. Go ahead and make me a will saving throw. A wisdom saving throw. That unfortunately is not enough. An 18 is not going to do it.
Well, I will keep struggling.
All right.
As long
Yeah.
as it
So you're
takes.
fighting back, trying to break your Kia Ronsley's hold on your body. That will end Thoros'l's turn. Irae, not entirely certain. So it looks up with with shock and pain and fear at the man who was once her father. And does she have anything at all that she can do? She is not no. She has nothing at all that she can do. She scrambles away. She's going to take a full disengage and just try to get away from Thoros'l. Doesn't run towards. Man, she's in a lot of trouble. Looks to see the glowing forms of the so that the red-eyed glowing forms of the specters that are closing in as well, and she will reach into her cloak and pull out a thin sliver of what appears to be silver wrapped wood. She'll flourish with it and blast magic missiles from her wand at this creature over here, keeping an eye on Thoros'l, but not wanting to, and not able to really truly comprehend what's happening with him, and instead attempting to attack this thing over here. So she is going to blast. See, I'm gonna make an intelligence check for her, which is gonna be pretty good. Oh yeah. She's gonna know. Okay, so she's gonna use 4 charges from her wand, which is gonna be what? 1 charge, 2 charge. Now she'll use 4 charges from her wand, which will be 6 missiles. So she'll blast with 6 magic missiles at her target, and that will be 6d4. She All 6 missiles burst out of the tip of her wand and unerringly seek their target, blasting holes through the coalescing black mist and blasts that creature into non-existence. She will then finish her move by continuing on around the outside edge, try to keep away from Thoros'l.
Good idea.
That will take us to the Spectre's turns. They will, unable to quickly realizing that they are unable to reach their original quarry, Makaria. This one will move to here, and this one will move. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. And the first one, this one, will attack Sprout, because that's who he can hit. Sprout, what is your armor class?
Not good enough.
Well, don't be too certain.
15.
Okay, that might not be good enough, actually. That is a +4 to hit. So does 14? 14 does not hit. So you see as this disembodied black mist-like spirit with glowing red eyes surges forward towards you and slashes at you with a misty claw. You get up, Riftrender, just in time to fend the strike off, and the creature appears, number 1, surprised that you were able to parry its blow with a sword, and 2, filled with rage and all the more interested in destroying you if it can. Unfortunately, it only gets 1 attack per turn, so that will be its
Fortunately
turn.
for him, very fortunate for me.
Very fortunate for you indeed. That will end its turn, taking us to Alanere. Eldrick, you are unfortunately on deck.
Alanere, what you got for me? I just need one.
Let's see, we got this many. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I don't know if I'll be able to cast a spell here or not. I'm going to attempt it.
You got a potion you can shove down my gullet?
I am going to attempt a 5th level Mass Cure Wounds.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
And I can do up to 6 creatures. It's got a 30-yard radius.
30-foot radius.
Or 30 foot, not 30 yard, 30 foot.
So you
So I
choose.
think
It's not from you. It's from a point that you choose. So you can choose
Yes.
a point and say 6 characters within this range.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm actually thinking of targeting it on the down drow. Or
Okay.
whatever his name is.
Thanas'l.
thanas'l. I'd like you to remember my family's name. Thank you very much.
So
Is that before or after you cut them down?
I mean, based on his nickname, I find it hard to believe you forgot his name.
And so I'm going to attempt to basically cast it, and I'm not going to be able to get a spell on Makaria. So the other, including myself, everyone else, including his daughter.
Okay, so you can't put it on Makaria, so you're reaching for everybody else, and that includes the thanas'l?
Yes. Yes, including thanas'l.
Okay.
I love it.
That is... All right, so go ahead and roll
your... Thoros'l is up.
So as you begin the casting, you like brace for that influx of negative energy that you felt before, and you cast your spell and you attempt to tap into the weave, knowing that it reaches somehow, through to Shantea, and you reach out and you tap that weave. And you're expecting that cold energy to run back into you, and it doesn't, and your spell completes.
Ooh.
Very nice.
All right, so it's going to be 3d plus 5 for everyone.
High rolls, please.
I'm going to try. So 19 hit points for everybody.
19 hit points for everybody. All right, I'm gonna
Except
make those.
Makaria.
I'm going to take those for Irae, who sorely needed them. Thoros'l, you get those as well. I'll put them on
Yeah.
thanas'l. You see thanas'l's wounds that he received in the battle begin to close as well. He does not stir, unfortunately. Whatever force it was that laid him low doesn't appear to be simple damage. But everybody else except for Makaria gets those hit points back.
Poor Makaria.
Eldrick,
Hey, it's okay.
you awake on the floor, ears ringing still from the shriek, and you are immediately aware of a malevolent presence directly above you that is flailing at Sprout.
Eldrick clutches both stones and says, I've had enough. And he will attempt to use the Stone of Quintessence to cast Mass Heal.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God! He's just going
Mass
straight to
heal.
the stone. Straight to the stone.
Goes straight to the stone. Didn't even try to turn away from it. He's had enough. Eldrick
Fine.
has had enough. Sometimes when you fuck around, you find out. Eldrick has
Sort of,
found out.
sort of a Hail Mary here because I got to roll a 9 or better.
So you had
Well,
Ooh.
with
so you attempt to call upon the stone, and I don't know if it's just the interference with the uh, the confluence of the planes, or your hands are slippery with your own blood, or whatever it is. You fumble the stone and you drop it to the ground.
Ooh, that's not good.
That was your action. Is your anything else you're doing?
I will. Can I pick the stone back up using my free object interaction and then just lay here like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still have a move as well. You're only
Yeah.
prone now.
I don't want to take an attack of opportunity from this thing, so I am gonna get up though.
All right. So you get up, get back to your feet. You are carrying a weapon. It's not your weapon, but you do have a weapon at your disposal.
At the moment, I'm dual wielding stones.
A borrowed weapon. Got it. Okay.
He doesn't need any other weapon than that.
All right then. Then on that will
was
end Eldrick's turn. That was
Yeah,
unfortunate.
that ends Eldrick's turn. That was unfortunate. I thought I was gonna roll bad. I didn't think I'd roll that bad. Jesus.
That will end round 1. We are 10 minutes till 10. Do we want to go to round 2? Or
Yeah, one more round at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then for the lair action.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah. Number 1. The let's see here. I gotta look at my notes because I don't remember what happens here. Okay. So I roll. So as a lair action, the portals do something. Ooh.
They can just go away. Just throwing it out as an option.
I'm gonna roll a d6. Portal number 4. 1. See, 1 was 1 is now this one because number 1 got disrupted. So now number 1 is this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Portal number 4 pulses with black and purple energy, and it continues. It begins to grow wider, and another form claws its way through, and that will be the lair action. 1 second. Lair action. There we go. So portal number 4 gives birth to another specter. Anyone within 5 feet of an existing portal, so that would be Thoros'l and thanas'l, neither of which are affected, but also Irae. Irae is within 5 feet of an existing portal. At the end of the lair action turn, she takes 10 points of necrotic damage.
Ow.
She staggers backwards away from the portal, realizing that even being close to it is apparently very dangerous. She says, "Stay away from the portals. They look like they're conduits to the negative energy plane." Oh gods. And that will be the lair action turn. That will take us to Sprout. Sprout, you're up. Makaria, you are on deck.
All right, if I understand this correctly, am I within 10 feet of that portal down south?
Currently, you are not.
Okay.
You can move,
Yeah, you can move
attack
first.
around this guy, attack him, and then bamf over to it.
One
Now,
more time.
You can. What he's saying is you can move around as long as you don't get out of attack range for this guy. You can move around him as part of your move action and get within range, but you
So I
can't.
could move.
You can't move
Here?
through. You can't move through Makaria's space because she's got a big bowling ball around her that fills up the entire square.
Way to
You
be a
can move
nuisance, Makaria. Gosh.
You can move through Eldrick's space.
But you can move around Eldrick. Yeah. And so you could go here, here, through Eldrick to here, and then be in range to strike this guy, and then do your bamf to this thing within 10 feet. That's something you can do.
All right, then I would like to move that. And if I understand distance strike, let me read it real quick.
While he's figuring that out,
Okay, it's against a third creature.
Thoros'l, I would like for you to use your reaction to attack Sprout as he goes by.
You got it.
No,
Woof.
Eldrick, this will be your first indication that something is wrong in the land of Oz with Thoros'l.
Come
Yep.
on, 20. Oh, 18 to hit.
18 is a hit.
It's a 15 armor class, so yeah, that hits.
12 damage.
Ooh.
Are there other factors of your Flayer sword that might apply in this case? Thoros'l?
No, I do roll a 18 or 19 to hit. I rolled a
Okay,
7 or whatever.
got it.
All right, so that's, you said 12 points of damage?
Yes, 12
Yep.
total points of damage.
That makes me 48.
And you used your reaction, so your influence mind ability doesn't apply here. Got it. Okay, cool. Then, so as you're tacking around, trying to keep your sword between you and the specter, you swing around, passing Eldrick, but strangely, you take a sword strike to the back. You turn and you see Thoros'l standing there, both swords bathed in gore, dripping, and staring daggers at you. There's a blackish purple kind of glow about him, specifically around his eyes and around a silver band around a finger on his left hand. And that will we'll get back to your turn. So you've done your move. Now you're going to attempt your action.
Yep. I'm gonna do a strike on this one right here.
Yep,
Oh, that's a miss.
that is a miss. That is correct.
Um,
Have a second shot.
does
Can you
distance strike
teleport?
need to hit to be able to activate?
I believe it does.
When you take the attack action,
Oh
you
no,
can
you don't
teleport.
have to. Yeah, you can teleport as part of the attack action, so that doesn't matter if you hit or miss. You can still do your teleport.
Okay, then I'm going to try and hit the same target again, and
Okay.
then if that triggers, Whether that triggers or not, I'll teleport and attack as well.
Okay. That is a hit.
So that'll be 11 points of damage there.
Right, so you slash through the specter between you and Makaria, and you feel a sharp tug on the sword. So even though it is incorporeal, your sword made purchase, and you put some damage on him. He also like shivers as the blade passes through him, as though his mist-like form is attempting to disperse, or is nearly disrupted, but he is still alive.
Okay. Utilizing distance strike, will teleport here and take a second strike through distance strike at this portal here.
And both of those things are good. So that was Portal 5. Portal 5 takes 13 points of damage. It is not disrupted, but it is damaged.
And then teleporting third time here to strike at this portal here.
You've already made 3 attacks, so you don't get any more than that. You can teleport there, but you can't make another strike.
Okay.
Yeah. So the most that you can get is 3 attacks. Whether when you're teleporting between them, then that you can do that. You continue to teleport, but you can't make another strike that goes beyond your 3 attacks.
Noted. Thank you.
Yep. All right, but you do find as you bamf next to the 4th of 5 portals that another of these mist-like undead creatures moves to confront you. That will take us to Makaria with Thoros'l on deck.
I'm ready.
Well, seeing as how there's still something right in front of me. Not much I can do. All right, so I'm going to use my action to roll.
Okay.
And I will roll there.
Okay. So you, inside your hamster ball, you roll against the wall of the cavern. And
rolling.
and that is that.
And that is that.
Any other actions or bonus actions for you to perform this round?
There is not, because I'm pretty tapped.
Okay. Then we go to Thoros'l.
All right.
Thoros'l, you have enemies aplenty around you, but your primary focus is, let's see, you would know that you cannot get to Makaria, so your secondary focus is gonna still be Irae. So, I did something bad there. That's not right at all. You can move forward and attack Irae.
All right. Done and done.
First attack is going to be a disadvantage again this round because she's back to.
Oh, it's gonna be enough.
It's the same.
22.
Yeah, that's a hit. So
All right.
16 points of damage on the first strike.
16 on the first one. 16 on the second one.
Oof.
And 11 more. So 40, or no, yeah, 16 and 16 is 32, 43.
Okay, she goes down. Third strike. She makes eye contact with you on the inside. Realizing that the person attacking her now is not her father. There is a look almost of resignation, acceptance, as the third strike slashes across her body and she goes limp and falls to the ground. She is downed. Which will take us to her turn for her first.
Can I try to break free?
Oh, absolutely. You can go ahead and make your wisdom saving throw.
17.
Remind me next time. That'll happen before Kieransley takes her turn with you.
Okay.
Iriah goes down, and so you stand over the body of Irae Dalharran, dead once, perhaps dead again, and she fails her first death saving throw. So one attack will be enough to give her 2 death saving throws and kill her for real. And
I'm gonna sleep.
that
Yeah.
ends Iriah's turn, which takes us to the specters. Specters seeing the specter, noting that its target is well in hand, and it's not going to attempt to take the kill from its master. It is going to pivot to attack here.
Oh boy.
And these 3 are going to do their thing. So we'll start with the original one, going to attack Eldrick. It will be at advantage because he is flanking now.
That's bad. So, quick question before you roll anything. My AC is usually a 20. I took the breastplate off of my armor, which I assume means that I no longer get the +2 magic bonus.
That is true.
Does that drop me to an 18 because I'm still wearing most of the armor?
I would say that it would drop you. See, the breastplate is worth AC of what? What's a breastplate on its own?
Probably 6.
Is it 4? We'll say it's not enough that it's just the breastplate, right? It's probably just the first chest plate. So I'll say you lose the magical bonus +1, so you're down to a 17. We'll call it that.
Got it. Excellent.
I think that's fair because you still have the rest of your armor. You can try to stick and move. So they are going to make attacks against you. First one will be at advantage. So first attack.
Ugh. I'm going down.
Natural 20.
Going back down, guys.
Rip.
Okay.
You have any reactions?
So because this is a specter, it is going to do a crit, which means it's doing 6d6 necrotic damage.
I've only got 19 hit points, man.
Well, it's much, much worse than that, unfortunately. So bear with me just a second. 6d6. That is 29 points of damage. I need you to go to 0, obviously, but then take 29 points off of your maximum hit points.
Oh,
Jesus.
As it surges into you and begins draining the life force. Eldrick's face goes gray as this creature surges bodily into his space and begins drawing upon his life force. And
okay,
that will be that. Actually, because of that, because it is physically occupying your space and attempting to effectively consume you, roll me a D100 and claim even or odd first.
Claim even or odd, and then a roll a D100.
Correct.
I'm going to say even.
Even. Odd. Okay. Nothing additional happens. So the creature downs you. The second one is going to hit you as well, which is going to be an automatic crit. It's going to do 2 death saving throws worth of damage to you. And because it's an auto crit, I have to roll it again for the 6d6 because that's going to come off of your yeah. So an additional 18 off of your max hit points.
Oh my gosh.
As the 2 specters just pile onto Eldrick's body and begin draining the life out of him. Sprout, you still have one attacking you, and your armor class is 15, you said.
Yes.
Fortunately for you, it doesn't have advantage. It also cannot roll worth a damn, so it does not hit you. It slashes at you, but once again, you've dealt with these kinds of things before. You've dealt with incorporeal undead many a time in your travels, and you know they don't like force damage. And what is Riftrender? It is the manifestation of force and will. You are able to fend off its attacks with the force-empowered blade of your ancestral sword.
You said these are fiends, correct?
They are undead.
Undead. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
That will end the Spectre's turns, taking us to Alanere with Eldrick and his final death saving throw, potentially,
Oh my gosh.
on deck.
Well, 17 years was enough.
Apparently.
Oh.
What do you got for us,
I
Druid?
still have? I know, right? I'm already like half drained of shit. I could clear the room, but unfortunately, that would also do my party.
Well, Thoros'l is pretty much a full. I'm better than half life. I'm ready to rock. Oh, sorry.
Let's see. Damn it. That would probably definitely kill Eldrick.
If Eldrick rolls under a 10 on his next turn, he's dead anyway.
Yeah, you got it. I need a hit point, man. I need 1 hit point.
He has 2 death saving throws now.
Oh, that's true. All right. Let's see. What's the highest I can? I could burn that. All right. Here's what we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to come down and do a cure wounds on Eldrick,
Oh my. Okay.
and I'm gonna use a 3rd level spell for that, or spell slot for that.
All right.
Which already got Eldrick. You're gonna get me killed in the most unnatural of way. I will haunt your ass for this. I hope you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what my next action is going to be that could be most impactful that doesn't
All right.
chance.
So that is gonna do a 3d8. Okay, so basically,
Yeah, everybody's spread out. Otherwise, you could just portal everybody out.
I will do a level 3 cure wound on Eldrick for 21.
21 points of healing. Eldrick, your 2 death save throws are removed, and you are once again conscious and once again prone.
Oh my goodness.
You spent
Laying
a lot
on the
of time
ground.
spent a lot of time on the ground this fight.
Just so you know, I'm out of shapeshifts, and I'm now starting to run fairly low on spell slots. So you better do something big.
I
Because my
don't,
next turn, I'm clearing the room.
I don't know that I've got something big at the moment.
All right. Alanere, is that the end of your turn? Do you have a bonus action that you can do?
I think I do have something I can do for a bonus action.
Well, let's hear it.
Although, actually, I don't. Maybe if it counts as a. No, I don't think it does, actually. Actually, do that. Damn. That is a bonus.
What is it you're thinking of?
And not going to really be too helpful. There's some cantrips, basically, that are bonus actions.
Gotcha. Nothing.
Nothing that I think can really help. Although, let me check one thing real quick. If not, then I will be done.
Okay.
No, that's an action, so that ain't going to happen.
All right, so we're free to move on to Eldrick.
Yep, I'm done. Yep.
Eldrick, you're on button.
Okay. If I try to cast a big spell again, which would be fantastic, I might roll terribly. So the most impactful thing I think I can do right now, in this exact moment, is I'm going to use the new stone to remove my soul anchor
That takes an action.
as an action. Yep.
Okay.
It should turn on all of my pally stuff.
So you focus in on the stone. The specters have turned to face the new challenger that has approached. Seeing that you are now once again possessed of the warmth of life, they turn back toward you. You focus in on the stone. You feel the soul anchor binding your body and soul to the material plane, and you sever it. Immediately, you feel a rush of warmth as your connection to the planes, and therefore Ilmater, is restored. You are no longer under the effects of the soul anchor. All of your paladin abilities are immediately returned.
Nice.
Well, I'm going to stand up.
We just hit there a heavy metal riff with a choir in the background just kicked off.
It would only be cooler if I actually had a bonus action that was worth a shit. Which unfortunately I don't believe I do, because both of the stones are an actual action to use.
That's true.
And I don't have any bonus action spells memorized. Not that any of them would have been super useful at this exact moment. So that's gonna be my turn.
Okay. That will end round 2. At the end of round 2, what do we want to do? Do we want to go to round 3, or do we want to call it here?
Let's go to round 3.
Yeah.
I'm down for round 3 if you guys are.
This is just too damn interesting to stop now.
All right, we'll try to make it quick, or at least we'll try to get through. There's an event that I think is inevitable now. Is coming about midway through this turn. Maybe we'll stop there.
Oh, okay.
All right, Sprout, you are lair actions first. I will roll on tick 20 to see which of the portals reacts. We have that's the wrong. Oh, what reaction the portals have? That is what? Oh, okay. And which of the portals will it be starting number 1 here? It will be number 5. So this one. This portal pulses, and a tendril of pure black energy lashes out from it, and it will attach to the nearest enemy creature, which is either going to be Sprout or Eldrick. Sprout, even or odd?
Even.
Odd. It is you. It lashes around you, and you take 10 points of necrotic damage, and it pulls you 10 feet toward the portal. At which point, you take 10 additional points of necrotic damage from being within 10 feet of being adjacent to the portal itself as it pulsed. So 20 points of necrotic damage, and that will end the lair action's turn. Your turn. Makaria, you're on deck again.
All right, I'm going to attack this portal.
Okay.
With Riftrender.
And that is a
That's
negative.
a miss.
That is a natural 1, which is a miss.
I would still like to utilize my teleport.
Okay.
To go here.
Okay.
And I would like to... Am I within reach of Eldrick?
You are.
Okay. I want to touch him, and I want to cast Protection from Evil and Good on him.
Is that an
You
action?
don't do that. You don't
It is one action.
You've already taken the attack action, so you can't take a spell casting action as
Okay.
well. So the way that multiple attacks works is if you take the attack action, you get that number of attacks by virtue of getting that action, but it's still one action.
Okay, so then I would need to attack then.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I will attack him then.
All right.
It's an 18 to hit.
That is a hit, and he is destroyed. So
Thank God.
you appear in mid-swing, and you bring Riftrender through the space where he was, and with a shriek of rage, he disperses into just so much foul-smelling black mist.
Okay. If that's the case, then I will take the teleport and go here and take a third attack against him.
That is your right. Ooh, that is a hit. And it does 16 points of damage. That is not enough to kill it, but it does put some serious damage on it.
All right. And that will end my turn. Don't
All
die.
right.
Anybody. Period.
Makaria.
Makaria will drop the ball so that she will actually just step onto the ground, and she will raise her wand and just cast. Yep, she'll just cast a level 2 magic missile at the thing in front of Eldrick.
Okay. So that's
Right.
4 missiles because it's level 2.
I believe so. Let me just double check.
3 for level 1, add 1 for each level above that. So 4 missiles, 4d4 plus 4.
44 plus 4. Actually plus 5 because of my wand, so 18 altogether.
18. So your missiles swerve between Eldrick and Alanere and Sprout, striking the Spectre and obliterating it, blasting it out of existence. Anything additional that you want to do?
I do not believe I have a bonus action that I can do at the moment, so that should be it.
Okay. That will take us to Thoros'l.
All right.
Thoros'l attempts to break free.
Let's see what happens here. Bing, 30.
Ooh.
30. You can perform either a move action or an attack action of your own volition.
I'm going to remove the silver ring violently
Okay.
with an attack action.
Okay. So with
Oh,
your
shit.
Boy.
So are you basically just taking your own sword and slashing it through your finger and removing the ring?
Correct.
Hot diggity damn. Okay. So
Good thing.
So you still knowing that your body is fully, or at least mostly, under control of this entity, you raise your sword, looking down at the fallen body of your daughter, and with just a cry of rage and denial and invocation of everything that Thoros'l has been for the last 100 years, you fight through, and just for a brief instant, you bring that sword down. And you cannot allow for this creature to destroy your daughter again, for these drow to take your daughter again. So you put your own hand up to take the blow, and you slash through the last 2 fingers on your left hand, severing them cleanly. You hear the clatter of a silver ring fall to the ground alongside the Wolfswift sword, which you also dropped, clearly, as that happened.
Yeah, just drop it and slice.
You feel a tug. Makaria, you're the only one that is looking in the direction to actually see this happen. But you see as Thoros'l is doing this, as he's bringing down the sword to end his daughter's life, and his other hand goes up in an act of defiance, and he severs through a good portion of his left hand, maiming his left hand. You see a black streak fly out of the entryway to the chamber. It strikes the wall here, at an odd angle, and then darts back up to strike Thoros'l in the center of his chest. Thoros'l, as you bring the sword down and maim your hand and remove that silver ring, you think that you should feel pain, and you do. You feel searing pain as the flare sword blasts through your hand. But instead of what you were expecting this to be awful pain. I mean, you just lost 2 fingers. But you feel a kind of a dull, the pain in your hand dulls almost immediately, and you feel a thump in your chest as something strikes you. You look down, and as the Wolfswift sword falls from nerveless fingers, and the flare sword begins to descend as well, you feel the cloud of Kiaransili flee from your mind. You look down, and there is a single black feathered arrow sticking out of your chest. As you think, as you react to that, you start to fall backward. You stagger backward, and turning away from your daughter, you see a figure standing in the entryway, clad all in black, pale white skin, pointed ears. He gives you a nod and disappears back into the darkness. And I am sending you a new document.
Oh, buddy.
Oh shit.
And that is where we will end tonight's session with.
Oh!
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, love it.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh.
Ain't none of us is leaving this place the same way we came in.
Hell no.
Make
No.
sure in your folder, Thoros'l, that you can see the new document, Divine Blessing, Called to the Hunt.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look. Refreshing. I see it.
All right, I am going to roll for Irae. Her second death saving throw is successful, so she is currently at 1 and 1.
I
While Thoros'l reacts to, Thoros'l gets to read his new candy. We'll go ahead and I said we were gonna end, but let's go ahead and end out the round. Irae has done her turn. We are now to Alanere.
Oops. I closed my windows.
All right. Oh, she's down.
There's currently only one enemy and a bunch
Everyone
of
else is actually up and awake. 5, 10, 30. Actually have enough movement to get over to and slap a cure on her. Put me in range, but fuck it, I will do it. We'll move over. And let's see what kind of spell slots I actually have left.
Oh my god.
I have one more third. All right, gonna drop another third level cure wounds on her.
25.
25, and that is done with 3rd level spell slots.
Okay, so she then is 25 hit points. And no death saving throws.
Yay! Oh, bro.
That will be it for me. And that was all my movement, so I can't even get away from the portal.
Okay, then we'll end round 3 with Eldrick. Eldrick, for the first time in this fight, you are not surrounded by enemies. You're not even surrounded by
Yeah.
friends. You're just you, buddy.
I look to Makaria. Can you fix the city?
Did you say something to me? I was reading.
No,
No,
Makaria.
He's shouting at
Okay.
Makaria.
No, I cannot.
Well, then I am going to use my new stone to make a portal, I guess.
Okay.
Seems to be, well, it does seem to be the move. No. If I portal us out of here, can she leave? Can the goddess leave with us, or is she trapped here?
I don't know if there's any way you could know that.
Well, I'm asking Makaria if she knows that.
I believe the realm of the city is kind of self-encapsulated in the bubble, I think.
Couldn't you anchor her soul?
I have to touch her, and I don't know where she is. So, in that case, then I'm going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to make a move 5, 10, 15, 20 to thanas'l here. And can I, is it an action if I pull him 5 feet towards me?
No, I would say that's something you could just easily do.
All right, I just want to pull him over this way, and then I'm going to drop a portal uh, here with the stone that opens to Thoros'l's village.
Okay, so when you activate the stone, so a couple things
Yep.
happen. You call
Oh,
upon
yeah.
the power of the stone to open a portal.
Yep.
The portal opens around you.
Oh,
Fully.
okay.
So you couldn't know until you tried it, but
I got it. Yep.
the portal will open 20 feet, a 20-foot radius around you. So
So out to here. That's it.
you
Yep.
call upon the power of the stone, and it flares to life with greenish energy and also kind of a gold energy, and a sphere of this greenish goldish lightning energy expands around you. As it does, you see the tree that started all this, the tree that you found the entryway to the Underdark beneath. You see that superimposed in a kind of a ghostly fashion over
Yep.
what you're seeing around you now.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that within the bounds of this 20-foot sphere, you are in both places. You are in the Underdark and the ethereal plane, Maerimydra, and you are in Maplein above. Whenever you close this portal, that determines whether you are when you close the portal. You determine which side of the portal you end up on, and anyone inside the portal with you.
Gotcha. Having done that and created that very terrifying thing, Eldrick will yell out, "Come to me!"
If you want to live.
Okay. So the last thing that you notice as you call out, "Come to me!" and you look down at the body of thanas'l below you, and you see that his eyes are open and they are bleeding some black fluid. His eyes are entirely black. They are weeping black fluid, and his lips are moving. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Cool.